Welcome to the 34th Annual West Coast Ragtime Festival. I'm Virginia Tishner, the festival director. It's been a very challenging and difficult year for all of us. Our musicians have seen their concert tours and other music engagements completely canceled. We're sad that we can't be in person this year. We all miss being together at the Marriott in Rancho Cordova and the excitement of the live performances. But West Coast Ragtime Society has prepared a full weekend of special shows and concerts for you to enjoy online. To emulate as much as we can of the actual West Coast Ragtime Festival experience, we've programmed a total of 8 different concerts over 3 days. You'll find familiar special shows and individual sets performed by our stellar lineup. There will be a 90-minute break between each program. One of our programs, featuring Ragtime Society Orchestra's Stage and Screen Spectacular, will broadcast twice during the weekend. If you miss it on Saturday afternoon, hopefully you can catch the repeat on Sunday evening. We hope that you enjoy the weekend of ragtime events. Now, here's a message from the West Coast Ragtime Society's Board of Directors.
Hi, we are the West Coast Ragtime Festival Board of Directors, dedicated to the promotion and preservation of ragtime and vintage American music. This first true popular music born in the USA has spanned not only the globe, but also expanded the boundaries of world culture and society. We are all grateful to the talented musicians who are, in the words of Max Morath, living a ragtime life and sharing their music with us. Living a generous life brings joy. It is our hope that the generosity in your donations to these gifted artists brings you that fulfillment. This festival is brought to you by the West Coast Ragtime Society and sustained by donations from fans like you. Thank you.
Here's how you can help support the musicians featured in this year's online West Coast Ragtime Festival. 100% of the donations received will support the musicians featured all weekend. There are 3 ways for you to donate to West Coast Ragtime Society. First, you can donate to us using PayPal. You can get there from the West Coast Ragtime Festival donation page or by going to the festival's page on PayPal using the addresses shown on screen. You can also make a donation to us by credit card. Please call area code 415-891-3096 to donate using a credit card. Our festival staff is available throughout the weekend, during our live broadcasts, in between our live broadcasts, and 1 hour after our broadcasts to accept credit card donations over the phone. That's Friday, November 20th, 3 to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, the 21st and 22nd, noon to 9 p.m., Pacific Standard Time. Lastly, you can make a donation by check at the address displayed here. West Coast Ragtime Society, P.O. Box 13346, Sacramento, California, 95813. All this information is also available on the Facebook and YouTube page for each concert. We greatly appreciate all your support. Before we begin our program today, we have a special message from a dear friend of West Coast Ragtime Society and the ragtime community. Please welcome Mr. Max Morath.
The 2020 West Coast Ragtime Festival has arrived with 2 labels, one a minor footnote, the other, happily, a major. The minor footnote, the festival is not held this year in Sacramento at the Rancho Cordova, but it is still teeming as usual with ragtime fans and players. The major change? It continues to be a cascade of great ragtime, performed by pianists, old and young, performing virtually on the web. Hi, Max Morath here. Sorry that we won't be in Sacramento. This year, the Ragtime Festival is billed as virtual. That's a word with 2 definitions. Both fit this 2020 event perfectly. A virtual festival means one that happens, but not like always, and one that nevertheless according to Webster, remains an event of particular moral excellence. In other words, the 34th WCRF is taking place in November as usual, but this year it's on your computer screen. Welcome! Looking over this year's roster, I am reminded of the words of Ragtime's longtime champion Bob Darch. He said, "Ragtime dead? Hell no, it ain't even sick." This year we have 52 performers, ages 14 to 77. Rags old and new, composed from 1899 to last week. Our players come from California to Hungary and everywhere in between. It's 2020. Ragtime is old, but as always, it's brand new. It is piano music for both hands, 10 fingers, and a tapping toe every so often in 2/4 time. Ragtime is not easy, but it rewards the challenge with satisfaction, pride, and endless joy. Here we go.
Thanks, Max. Our Friday program today is being broadcast live on Friday, November 20th, 2020 at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our first program today will be the traditional Friday Festival Sampler Show that features a concert with each performer playing just one piece. Here's the opportunity to catch a sample of the festival weekend with multiple performers all in one show.
Chocolate. I could eat about 1.5 million of these. My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Welcome to the Festival Sampler. I'm your host, Jack Rummel, and unlike Forrest Gump, I know what you're going to get, and you're in for a real treat today. We've got 19 great performances lined up, and we're ready to kick it off now with a talented young man, Oliver Moore, playing Scott Joplin's Gladiolus Rag from 1907 and recorded at Kansas University on a magnificent concert grand. Let's welcome Oliver. Next, we should jump across the pond to Hungary and to a live performance by the Bohem Ragtime Jazz Band, led by Isis Tamas. They host their own ragtime festival every year, and here's a video featuring their banjo player on Avalon, a tune made famous by Al Jolson from 1920. John Reed-Torres is a native of Los Angeles. He's been a familiar face at West Coast Ragtime Festivals as well as others. Also, he has become closely associated with the Old Town Music Hall in nearby El Segundo, and he filmed his presentation there. Let's join him as he introduces his selection and makes a special dedication.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. We're here at the historic Old Town Music Hall in El Segundo. This piece I'm going to play for you is from 1911 called The Smiling Bill Two-Step by Jack Schuessler, published in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'd like to personally dedicate this piece to my late friend and mentor, Mr. Bill Field, the proprietor of this theater, and before him, Bill Kaufman, who I never had the pleasure of meeting. So this piece is for the two of the Bills. Smiling Bill Two-Step.
Ezekiel Padilla lives in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where he hosts a ragtime festival there. He's been a regular performer at the West Coast Festival, where he has developed an enthusiastic following. Here he is, playing a composition of his own, Lourdes Joys, written for his daughter Lourdes in 1998. Next up is the zany group Groovus. It's led by Brian Holland, who is sporting a Rip Van Winkle beard, and he teams up with drummer Danny Coots to do a Laurel and Hardy-style verbal interchange before adding bassist Steve Pikal for a wild ride through Bernie's tune. Now, who says humor and ragtime don't mix?
Hey, Brian.
Well, hello there, little Dan.
I tell you what, let's do Bernie Miller's Bernie's tune.
That's a great idea,
Yeah.
Bernie Miller. I remember Bernie Miller. It was a show in the 70s, wasn't it? Barney Miller, the guy with Hal Linden, and the guy named Fish.
It was Barney Miller. This is Miller the composer.
Miller. Of course, Miller the composer. Gustav Miller. I remember, the classical composer.
No, that's Gustav Mahler.
Mahler, whatever. Yeah, I mean, he wrote The Planets, right? Gustav?
No, that's Gustav Holst.
Oh, Holtz. What was he the same guy that was the football coach at Notre Dame?
No, that's Lou Holtz.
Oh, Lou Holtz. Lou, why do I know that name? Louie. I remember this guy. He was a great singer. You know, he played the trumpet. He sang Hello, Dolly.
That was Louis Armstrong.
The astronaut?
No, that's Neil Armstrong.
Oh, that's right. He was the first guy on the moon. He said, this is one small step for man, and then he wrote giant steps or something like that.
No, that was John Coltrane.
Oh. Wait, John Coltrane wrote this tune?
Anthony Sarginson fell in love with ragtime after hearing Tom Breyer perform. Tom encouraged him, and Anthony began performing a lot of Tom's compositions, ultimately issuing a CD. It's heartening to see Tom's legacy continued through this young protege. For this concert, Anthony has chosen a seldom-heard Breyer piece, which he will introduce.
I'm going to be playing Imperial Foxtrot by Tom Breyer.
Chris and Jack Bradshaw are longtime supporters and performers at West Coast festivals. They favor a four hands, one piano approach to ragtime and have several CDs to their credit. Chris has also worked tirelessly on the festival's annual Youth in Ragtime concert. Here they recall their friendship with Midwestern composer Gilbert Liebernicht, better known as Gil Lieby, who passed away in 2008.
From 2000, Sutter Creek Strut by Gilbert Lieberknecht, better known as Gil Levy. Gil came to the Sutter Creek Festival many times, and we were fortunate enough to hear him. The very first time we played my four-hand arrangement of Sutter Creek Strut, it was in the Ice Cream Emporium, and sitting right next to the piano was Gil Levy. Talk about pressure. Well, he loved it, and we loved playing it. So please enjoy Sutter Creek Strut.
Hailed as one of the top pianists in the world, Frederick Hodges, with his distinctive stage presence, brings audiences to their feet wherever he performs. In this video, he traces the Broadway career of singer and dancer Gabby DeLise and performs one of her most memorable numbers, as only Frederick can do. Lights, camera, action. Here's Frederick.
On December 25th, 1915, the nation received a Christmas present in the form of the world premiere at the Globe Theater of Irving Berlin's second Broadway musical, entitled Stop, Look, Listen. The star of the show was the internationally famous singing and dancing sensation Gaby Deslys. Mademoiselle Deslys was considered one of the most beautiful women in the world. King Manuel II of Portugal took one look at her, instantly fell madly in love, and the very next day gave her a pearl necklace worth $70,000. She was famous for introducing the grizzly bear and the turkey trot on Broadway. She also invented a popular dance modestly called the Gaby Glide. Stop, Look, Listen was her final Broadway appearance. Thereafter, she made a number of films in Hollywood and in Paris. Tragically, she died in 1920 at the tender age of 38 after contracting the H1N1 influenza A virus, commonly referred to as Spanish influenza. Producer Charles B. Dillingham and Irving Berlin built the show around Mademoiselle Deslys to highlight her tremendous talents. The grand finale of the show was not I Love a Piano, which Irving Berlin had composed for the first act of the show, but an elaborate production number in which Gaby Deslys and a chorus of energetic dancing girls proclaimed to the world, "Everything in America is ragtime."
Woman, man and child has some ragtime on the brain. Every band and orchestra playing in America plays a syncopated strain. It's floating in the air, you hear it everywhere. Everything in America is ragtime, they talk in ragtime. It seems to be the fashion, their only passion is swaying to and fro, snapping fingers so, acting as though they were having a jack time. The USA is a land of syncopation. It seems the nation is just a million acres of shoulder shakers, composers just as thick as thieves, writing raggy melodies. They're even making Gaby Deslys sing ragtime. Every night, folks start swaying left and right while they read the evening news. When a baby starts to cry, longing for a lullaby, mother sings the Memphis blues. You can't drive it away because it's here to stay. Everything in America is ragtime. They talk in ragtime. It seems to be the fashion. Their only passion is swaying to and fro, snapping fingers so, acting as though they were having a jack time. The USA is a land of syncopation. It seems the nation is just a million acres of shoulder shakers, piano players thin and thick,
Hi, welcome to the West Coast Ragtime Festival Sampler. This performance is brought to you by the West Coast Ragtime Society and supported by donations from listeners like you. We thank you.
Here's how you can help support the musicians featured in this year's online West Coast Ragtime Festival. 100% of the donations received will support the musicians featured all weekend. There are 3 ways for you to donate to West Coast Ragtime Society. First, you can donate to us using PayPal. You can get there from the West Coast Ragtime Festival donation page or by going to the festival's page on PayPal using the addresses shown on screen. You can also make a donation to us by credit card. Please call area code 415-891-3096 to donate using a credit card. Our festival staff is available throughout the weekend, during our live broadcasts, in between our live broadcasts, and 1 hour after our broadcasts to accept credit card donations over the phone. That's Friday, November 20th, 3 to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, the 21st and 22nd, noon to 9 p.m., Pacific Standard Time. Lastly, you can make a donation by check at the address displayed here. West Coast Ragtime Society, P.O. Box 13346, Sacramento, California, 95813. All this information is also available on the Facebook and YouTube page for each concert. We greatly appreciate all your support.
Vincent Matthew Johnson is mostly self-taught, but has mastered the difficult genre of novelty piano and has gone on to compose a couple or dozen or so of his own novelty pieces. His young colleague and master pianist Max Keenlyside has perhaps paid the ultimate compliment when he recently released an entire CD of Vincent's works. For this concert, Vincent has chosen a more recent opus, Selena, from October 2019.
Thank you.
Having been introduced to ragtime at the age of 7, Oliver Moore's addiction to syncopation runs deep, but it wasn't until attending the 2015 West Coast Festival that he saw the infinite possibilities of this music. He looks to treat each rag as a masterpiece, finding the right balance between his own 21st century view of these pieces and authentic period performances. His partner, Diego Bustamante, first became interested in ragtime when, as a kid, he first heard The Entertainer. Some of you may remember from last year that Diego came from the town of Paradise, California, which was virtually destroyed by one of the wildfires. In this video, they team up to offer their version of a barn-burning standard, which Oliver will introduce.
Hello, my name is Oliver Moore, and although I'm very saddened that I can't be with you in person this year, I'm excited that Virginia has put together this virtual West Coast Ragtime Festival and that she has included Diego Bustamante and I. This year, Diego and I will be doing my own arrangement of Mark Janza's Lion Tamer Rag. This rag was heavily inspired by the after-hours events at the West Coast Festival, where multiple pianists would get on a couple of pianos and have a lot of fun with improvisation, throwing random quotes and key changes at each other, so I tried to capture that excitement in this arrangement. Thank you, Virginia, and everybody else who made this possible. Although it's not the same as being in person, it's certainly the next best thing, and I look forward to seeing everybody in person next year at the 2021 festival. Thank you.
Although originally from Connecticut, Ethan Leinwand has been based in St. Louis since 2013. He is known as a proponent of, and I quote, St. Louis pre-war piano blues, Texas barrel house, Deep South barrel house, early Chicago boogie woogie, and good time hokum stride. But on this appearance, he takes a slower approach and dedicates it to the memory of Brian Cather, a fellow historian and supporter of the Scott Joplin House in St. Louis.
Well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining us here on this great virtual concert. My name is Ethan Leinwand. I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri. And for my sampler piece, I'd like to play a tune in remembrance of someone who we lost this year, the great Brian Cather, who was such an important part of the ragtime community, not just in St. Louis, but across the country. I know he's missed by many, and it's been really sad that we haven't gotten to get together and mourn his loss together and remember him and all that he did. So I'm going to do a tune that he used to like. I used to play for him, and now I think about him every time I play it. This is called the Georgia Grind. We miss you, Brian.
Originally from Houston, Texas, Michael Chisholm was bitten by the ragtime bug when he saw Joanne Castle play on a rerun of the Lawrence Welk Show. Already a trained flutist, he immediately took up the piano, quickly learning as many rags as he could find and amassing a huge sheet music collection along the way. Michael has been featured at the West Coast Festival and at various other venues as well. Here, he plays a rag near and dear to my heart, and purple hair doesn't get in his way.
This piece was actually a request from Virginia, and unlike everything else I'm playing, this one was from practically yesterday. This one is from 1993 by our good friend Jack Rummel, called Lone Jack to Knobnoster.
Larissa Migachyov emigrated to America from Russia. While living in Texas, she discovered ragtime when she responded to a billboard notice about a gathering of pianists and friends of the genre. Instantly hooked, she began playing and writing rags, and now has a few dozen compositions and some CDs to her credit. Currently a favorite on the festival circuit, she brings us today her latest work, this one inspired by her daughter.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for including me in this wonderful festival. The West Coast Festival has always been the highlight of my year, and even in this online form, it is still the highlight of my year. I would like to premiere a new composition that I wrote in time for this festival. This is my latest one, and it is unusual in that it doesn't have food in the title. Actually, my daughter Clara helped me name it, and my daughter Clara is into animal dances. So this one is called The Dancing Rats.
Richard Dowling is a classically trained pianist who has concertized around the world. Several years ago, he discovered ragtime and soon was playing and recording it, thus assuring his popularity at festivals including the West Coast. In 2017, he released a 3-CD set of the complete works of Scott Joplin to critical acclaim, and followed that with a live performance of all of Joplin's works in New York's Carnegie Hall, also to critical acclaim. Tonight, his exquisite rendition for today's virtual concert of Roberto Clemente by David Thomas Roberts is among the best I have ever heard.
The first time I heard Roberto Clemente by David Thomas Roberts, I was immediately taken by its beautiful lyricism and poignancy.
Practicing social distancing during the COVID-19 pandemic has presented some unique challenges for bands, orchestras, and other musical groups. Here, we are treated to the Pacific Coast Ragtime Orchestra's solution to the problem, playing outdoors in the California sunshine. For their selection, I Wonder Who's Kissing Him Now from 1909, they are joined by popular Bay Area singer and bandleader Lisa Gonick.
I wonder who's kissing him now. I wonder who's teaching him how. I wonder who's looking into his eyes, breathing sighs, telling lies. I wonder who's drinking the wine, whose sweet lips I used to call mine. I wonder if he ever tells her of me. I wonder who's kissing him now.
Originally from Southern California, Will Perkins got his ragtime start in the youth programs of the West Coast Ragtime Society and Festival. Following a hiatus as a Mormon missionary and the release of 2 successful CDs, he completed his conservatory training and has settled in Idaho Falls, Idaho, where he is in great demand as a pianist and as a piano technician. For this concert, he has chosen a rare piece by jazz piano great Joe Sullivan from 1935.
Hi there, my name is Will Perkins, and it's a pleasure to be here with you at this year's West Coast Ragtime Festival. I'm recording here from Idaho Falls, Idaho in my piano shop. I'm a piano technician and I have pianos in various states of repair and functionality, and this particular piano, as you can see, is not functional right now. However, here is my trusty Steinway upright from 1901 that I will play for you today. The piece I'd like to play is a composition by a jazz pianist named Joe Sullivan. He wrote this in 1935, just after the birth of his first son. He named it My Little Pride and Joy.
T.J. Muller is a cornetist from St. Louis. He works there in the Scott Joplin House and also fronts a traditional jazz band called the Gaslight Squares. He first came to West Coast in 2019. He'll be doing a trio number, which he will introduce, backed up by the festival's own husband-wife team of Marty Eggers on piano and Virginia Tishner on drums.
Hi folks, so the following number is entitled Big Chief Battle Axe. It was composed in 1907 by Thomas S. Allen. I've been interested in this tune ever since I heard those great versions from the 1940s by the wonderful New Orleans trumpet player Bunk Johnson. I had a lot of fun messing around with this piece with Marty and Virginia, so I hope you enjoy it too.
Tom Bopp, Yosemite's pianist and singer, has been entertaining visitors at the historic Wawona Hotel in Yosemite since 1983. This relaxed musician, complete with his cup of tea sitting on the piano, has also been a popular figure at West Coast festivals. He will introduce his own choice, a personal favorite, he says. So get settled in a comfortable chair and enjoy.
Well, here's a song I've always liked. It's by James P. Johnson from 1923, called Old Fashioned Love. Most folks nowadays say old-fashioned ways must give place to things that are new. Well, somehow I hold to things that are old. Perhaps perhaps that's an old-fashioned view. I love my old books, the corners and nooks of my hometown, and the old friends, old melodies too. One love that is true, lasting all through life until it ends. I've got that old-fashioned love in my heart. There it will always remain. My love is like an ivy vine, cling a little closer all the time. Through the years, joy and tears, just the same. I've got that old-fashioned faith in my heart. No changes will tear it apart. If the dry land changed to sea, that'd never make any change in me, as I've got that old-fashioned love in my heart. Got that old-fashioned love in my heart, and there it will always remain. My love is like an ivy vine, clinging a little closer all the time. Through the years, joy and tears, just the same. I've got that old-fashioned faith in my heart. No changes will tear it apart. If the dry land changed to sea, that'd never make any change in me, 'cause I got that old-fashioned in my heart.
I hope you have enjoyed this virtual concert as much as I've enjoyed being the MC. For our closing number, we're pleased to call upon the ragtime man from Norway, Morten Gunnar Larsen. Long acclaimed as one of the top ragtime artists in the world, he's been a regular participant in West Coast festivals where he routinely fills the big concert hall and earns standing ovations. We'll go out with a blast here as Morten brings his own amalgamation of two hot Jelly Roll tunes, a real showstopper.
Here's a number that has become a standard on my repertoire that I used as part of the Jelly Roll show I did with Vernel Banneries in New York in the 1990s. And this is Morten's wonderful Perfect Rag. but it's inspired also by his recording of almost the same piece called the Sporting House Rag. So this is the one I like to call the perfect Sporting House Rag.
The great performers presented in this year's online version of the West Coast Ragtime Festival are being compensated solely by donations from viewers like you. 100% of the donations received will support the musicians featured all weekend. There are 3 ways for you to donate to West Coast Ragtime Society. First, you can donate to us using PayPal. You can get there from the West Coast Ragtime Festival donation page or by going to the festival's page on PayPal using the addresses shown on screen. You can also make a donation to us by credit card. Please call area code 415-891-3096 to donate using a credit card. Our festival staff is available throughout the weekend, during our live broadcasts, in between our live broadcasts, and 1 hour after our broadcasts to accept credit card donations over the phone. That's Friday, November 20th, 3 to 9 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, the 21st and 22nd, noon to 9 p.m., Pacific Standard Time. Lastly, you can make a donation by check at the address displayed here. West Coast Ragtime Society, P.O. Box 13346, Sacramento, California 95813. All this information is also available on the Facebook and YouTube page for each concert. We greatly appreciate all your support. I hope you all enjoyed our first concert today. Let's all take a 90-minute break now, and we'll be back soon for the Friday evening concert featuring Frederick Hodges, Vincent Johnson, Ivory and Gold, who are Jeff and Ann Barnhart, Diego Bustamante, the Pacific Coast Ragtime Orchestra with vocalist Lisa Gonick, Ezequiel Palleja, and Ethan Leinwand. Our evening concert is emceed by Matt Tolentino. See you in about 90 minutes.